In August 1953, the island of Kefalonia was decimated by an earthquake. In 50 seconds, literally 85% of the island's housing stock was reduced to rubble. And I'm in one of the villages that remains in a very ruinous state. There, I think, is a old stone that will have once milled corn or wheat. Just coming up on the right is a lovely archway that looks ecclesiastical but doesn't lead to a church. That's coming a little bit later on. And in this building was once the old taverna and barber's shop. Now I'm really excited by this building, or at least by what lies within it. Now what do you think that machine does? Initially I thought it was a fire engine, and I might perhaps have found the old fire station, but I think that's probably a bit fanciful. Perhaps it's just a threshing machine. And then equally interesting, in one corner are two giant presses. Again, what could they be for? Answers on a postcard, please. After the village was destroyed, many residents chose to emigrate to America, Australia and New Zealand, and those that remained decided not to rebuild the village but to settle in new houses closer to the coast. The church is the biggest and probably least destroyed of all the buildings. You can see at the sides there the stairways which would have been used to access the higher levels of the pews. And the graveyard is still very much used today, as you can tell from a lot of these modern white gravestones. You can also see the bell tower there, and I wonder if this grave belongs to some poor chap who perished on that day in 1953. Well, shall we give it a go? It looks a bit dodgy, but well, you can't really not go up, can you? To my surprise, you can actually ascend the bell tower very gingerly because there's nothing in the way of handrails, etc. Just about worth it though. And this clearly is a replacement chapel for the church which was destroyed, and is the only modern building within the village. This looks like the gate to a very important and imposing house. And the ruins look so incredibly freshly toppled. Would have been such a lovely house set within the trees. We're now in the ruins of old Skala, which was also hit by the 1953 earthquake. First attraction is this amphitheatre, which provides rather grand accommodation for that tennis court overlooking the sea. Here's the old bell tower with a new church built alongside it. This, most evocatively, is the old wash house and spring. If ever there was a attraction that needed panels, this is it. suppose that's where all the Greek mummers will have done their rub-a-dub-dubbing. Can't quite see how you get in there, but perhaps the main entrance was blocked by the earthquake fall. This house, next to the electricity substation, was the only property that had power in the village. Like the detailing in that stonework there, and also find the steps coming up from the house, quite evocative too. This, I think, is the pièce de résistance of the site. It's an old olive press and diesel engine which was built or supplied by Fielding, a chap from Bolton. As you look down along and over the ruins, you can almost hear the metal clanking from days of yore. By the looks of it, that is actually the main press itself, do you think? You wonder too where that staircase once led. Now the view just takes you up to the taverna, which is one of the few buildings that has been restored or built since the earthquake. So that just about completes my tour of old Skala. I love these little shrines beside the road you have which indicate a church. Really neat. Time to get to the beach and for a beer, I think.